Good evening, Prescott Valley. This is the regular meeting of the Parks and Rec Commission for Tuesday, October 8th. We'll start off with a roll call, please.
Commissioner Trevini?
Here.
Commissioner Fallman?
Here.
Commissioner Brinkman?
Here.
Chairperson Gummer?
Yes. Okay, moving on, we'll go for an approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
The motion, I have a second.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Very good. Moving on, the approval of the minutes from our September 10th regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the September 10th, 2019 regular meeting minutes.
Motion, I have a second.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? Very good. We'll move on to schedule announcements. We'll start off with Brian.
Good evening, Commissioners. Just some scheduled announcements about some of our upcoming programs and services. Our first is Becoming a Backpacker. This is learning the beginning skills you should know about backpacking, camping, and hiking. Their next upcoming class is Saturday, October 26th. Following that is our Backcountry Chef program. This is learning the basics of prepping, cooking, and dehydrating your own tasty foods for outdoor excursions. Our next class is scheduled for Tuesday, October 22nd. And next is our Basic Dog Obedience class. Learn how to teach your dog basic commands and address common behavioral issues. Our next session will start October the 9th. All of these classes can be found at the Town of Prescott Valley's website, pvaz.net. Click on your Parks and Recreation Department button, or you can give us a phone call at 759-3090 for more information or register directly with us. With that, I would be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, comments?
No.
You know, those are good classes to take if you're a hiker, those backpack classes and such for when you're out there.
Yes, sir.
Good things to know.
And quite an accomplished gentleman teaching both of those classes, as he has traveled overseas and all throughout Europe. So he is a very knowledgeable individual and ready to share his knowledge.
Oh, very good. Moving on, we'll go to the department updates. We'll start off with the director's report.
Well, good evening, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed a fabulous September, and I appreciate that little bit of time off to be able to escape into the great state of Texas for a week. But I would like to give a few little updates. I know for our commissioners, we know that we have said goodbye to Mr. Pat Frayer. We've also said goodbye to Commissioner Lori Moss as she was appointed to the town council. But I am very happy to report that we have some new faces coming on board with us. I've had the pleasure with meeting with all three. Our first gentleman will be Mr. Scott Byram. He's going to be joining us after his appointment Thursday evening by the town council on October 10th. And then in addition to that, we have a fabulous lady and another gentleman that will be appointed on October 24th. So I would encourage you to join with us on those particular evenings if that is available to you. And with each of those three appointments, our commission will be full again. So it has been a very rare situation, at least in my tenure, where we've had more than just one single absence, and it's not taken that long to fill those positions. But unfortunately, we do have three of those, and so we'll be having those folks joining us. So very excited about that. It's a wonderful opportunity. In addition, as you know, at the last meeting, we introduced you to two young men working on their Eagle Scout project over at Mountain Valley Park. We're continuing those efforts and fundraising. Very happy to report we received notification that we'll be receiving a grant that has been applied for. So we'll be presenting that at the town council on the 24th as well, in hopes that council will accept that grant award. We also traveled over to the Yavapai County Commissioner's offices, where we were recognized with our annual Healing Field program and received a proclamation from the county commissioners there, so that was very nice of them. Our town website is getting ready to be revealed. I believe it's scheduled for going live at the end of this week, so look forward to those updates and changes and visiting with us. And as we announced, I believe, at our last meeting, we were awarded our Arizona Forestry Grant for a tree program that will be made available to us for Arbor Day next year, and Council did approve that at a prior meeting. And then if you've driven by Santa Fe Station Park, you notice there's been some nice progress over there. Playground is complete, ready to go. Pickleball is going through some of its final stages, receiving a little bit of color this week. And our irrigation project finalized, and there's seed in the ground, and we're working very hard to get that grass sprouted and rooted so that as winter and fall comes, it's in a nice hardy position and ready for spring. We'll do another overseed at that point in time, and then being able to have a full-blown opening of the park come early or late spring. So that is some of the items that I've been working on this month, but in addition to that, included is the department's report as a whole. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have in that review.
Questions, comments? Go ahead, Kim.
Brian, what kind of grass is being planted over at Santa Fe?
We have what's called a Prescott blend. It's something that we put together several years ago, and it is going to be the same field variety of athletic turf grass that we have in all of our other sports parks, and it's a mixture of rye and bluegrass. And then over time, we vary that seed component in regards to its overseeding schedules.
So it will start
to green up and take root
over the winter.
It will take. We're going to try to get that established now before the winter comes. So we're going to keep feeding it, keep watering it longer than we would a lot of our other parks, just to keep it out of dormancy for a period of time so we can get that root base established. Then we'll shut it off, let it go dormant over the winter, come back in spring when the temperatures dictate that it can begin that system opening, and then do another overseed and hopefully have things ready to go and everything taking off. Okay. Yes, sir. Yep.
Great, thank you.
So same kind of process of what we went through over at Bob Edwards. So in trying to get that grass started so that it can be in use by summer.
That's good too.
Brian, when do we think we'll have the park open to the public?
What I'm looking for right now is a nice soft opening, and what I mean by that is the totality of the park would not be open, but its amenities would be in the terms of the playground and the pickleball courts. We're going to have continuing construction going on at that particular site. Right now we have landscaping going on, which also is going to be inclusionary of our parking lot lights. Getting power to the site is another item that we're working on right now. Our irrigation system's working off of solar arrays right now, so that's how we're able to power that system so that it's irrigating the grass that we're trying to grow. The restroom's going to come on board with us sometime December, January. That is going to be very similar to the product that you see over at Bob Edwards Park. It's going to be shipped in on a couple of semis, craned in into two halves, put into place and fully operational by the end of the day. Then a Ramada item's going to be coming there on site that'll be near the restrooms, but in between the restrooms, the playground, and the pickleball courts. And then the turf coming in, we've got some utility road access, some mow curb strips, additional sidewalk work that we still need to do. But the pickleball and playground coming on board hopefully by the end of this month, first half of next, and the rest of the park being available come spring.
Very good. Any other questions, comments? One thing Nick and his crew know how to do is grow some good grass. So, I mean, when Bob Edwards went in, I mean, we were worried about grass there, and it came in nice and thick and full. Yes. And the boys know what they're doing down there.
They do, and they do work hard. Kudos to Nick and Adam. Adam is our turf and irrigation specialist, which he filled Nick's position when he took our park supervisor. So a good team over there working that, as well as then also our construction technician, Britt Juries. So, a.k.a. we know him as Bruno. So,
very good. Okay, moving on, we'll go to the chairperson's report. Well, you know how much I enjoy surveys. So You enjoy a survey, don't you?
Sure, right
Kevin,
with you.
enjoy a survey once in a while, Kevin? Ron?
Yep.
Well, you just participated in a survey.
Right.
That was a survey. So what I did was I found another survey. So Americans support local park improvement projects. 4 in 5 Americans want their local government to fund park and recreation revitalization projects, including the restoration of parks, playgrounds, recreation, and community centers. More than half of the Americans completely support or strongly support the revitalization of these spaces. Parents came in the top with 66% in favor. Millennials, 64% of millennials think that's very important to revitalize parks. And overall, Americans were 59%. So it shows again that Prescott Valley is on track with our national surveys and our revitalizing the parks and playgrounds that we've been doing, and we are planning for the future with our coming up master plan. So again, Prescott Valley is right on the map for fulfilling needs of national surveys.
You know what's ironic about that is one of our still lingering projects has been that revitalization effort that's taken place over at American Legion. And that's been compliments of a wonderful partnership that we have with our friends of Prescott Valley Parks and Recreation. We totaled just over $50,000 of combined efforts, volunteers, donated monies, grants, applications, you name it. A lot of activities going on there. And the last component, I'm hoping, is scheduled to be finished up before Thanksgiving. And that will be the new Ramada over there at the park. So it's under construction right now. The Ramada is. We're hoping to be able to make site preparations towards the end of this month, first of next, so that that structure will be placed there. New picnic tables, the friends are working on right now to get those so that they're there and being able to be available come the next horseshoe tournament, the next Legion picnic, all of those types of good things that are hosted over there at that park. So revitalization is something we do understand, so thank you for that.
You bet. Any questions, comments?
Nope.
Moving on, we'll go to the Tree Advisory Board with the chairperson's report. So we've been talking about a new program for memorial trees. We have come up with our new program that we've been promising, and we are now calling it the Living Tree Donation Program. And it's got a new brochure that Brian is working on with his staff, and right now the wordage and everything is correct, but he wants to do a little tweaking on this brochure with maybe a little bigger font, maybe some pictures, things on this. But what it does is it gives you how to donate a tree, the cost of the trees, and not only trees, but you could also donate a bench, maybe a picnic table, some things like that. And then your plaques are going to have the designated wording already there so it can keep kind of the cost down so people don't overextend everything they want to say on their plaque. It's going to be pretty much just donated in the honor of, and it'll have the person's name and the date on there. But it's new, and it's called a Living Tree Program, donation program, and it's the new kickoff for Arbor Day, our new plan for getting trees and parks and our 15th anniversary, and we're still looking for ideas as far as anybody can come up with anything. Shoot a note to Brian, and other than that, we're doing well.
There you are. And so Buzz is exactly right. And if you remember, this is our former brochure that we had, and it was Memorial Tree. And some folks brought to our attention that, well, we're not necessarily memorializing, we're wanting to celebrate things. Buzz was even one of those individuals in regards to, hey, I've got grandkids. I'd like to do something in honor of my grandkids and celebrate that, so when they get old enough, they can say, hey, look, Grandma and Grandpa did this when you guys were born, and now look, it was just little like you were, and now it's this nice, great, big, wonderful thing that's going to have a living legacy to it and a forestation process. So we've had folks talk to us about grandchildren, birth of their own children, memorializing, celebrating life in that way, a marriage, variety of different things. We've even had some folks in regards to businesses that have talked about those types of things to commemorate what they've done. So we took it a little bit further in regards to, as Buzz mentioned, our Friends organization, and they've really partnered with us in this program. Because some of the folks have come to us and say, is there a benefit? Like, so if there's an estate item to this or any other tie. So the Friends are a 501c3, so it's a tax-deductible program opportunity, too, in regards to your donations. But growing that opportunity in regards to benches, picnic tables, those types of things. So it's a great win-win in regards to those types of things. We've expanded the program in regards to its service, in regards to recognizing or celebrating other events that take place in life. And we think it's a fabulous opportunity here that can help grow and enrich our community. And we can honor, remember, recognize, and just straight out accept the donations. In regards to this, there's a couple of different giving levels. If you'd just like to do a tree, a variety of sizes, or if you would like to memorialize them with a plaque there. In doing those things. So I think it's a fabulous program. It's a great opportunity to enrich our community, grow our forest, and be able to provide service to our community and recognize those loved ones that are dear to us in whatever aspect that they've enriched our lives.
Well, Living Tree program really opens the program up to everybody. It's not just a memorial. So this makes a lot of sense. I think this is a great change, and we'll probably see a lot more people take advantage of it.
We hope so. We hope everybody gets the word, and they all think it's just as cool of an idea as we do. Any other questions, comments? Moving on, we'll go to old business. We'll start off with the facility use policy and fee schedule update.
Yes, just wanted to bring the commission up to date with your recommendations going to council in regards to the facility usage policy as well as the fee schedule related to our pickleball courts that are being completed over at Santa Fe Station Park, as well as then the new meeting space expansion that took place over at the police department. Both of those recommendations have met with approval of council. They successfully went through their first reading to be placed within ordinance, and then they will be read again on Thursday evening on the 10th. So with the second reading, that puts both of those items in play, and we'll be able to then develop our signage and then make available those amenities to the public and rent them as scheduled. So that is going forward and doing very, very well.
Very good. Any questions, comments? And it was a pretty good deal still for the price.
Yes, sir. Definitely right in line with what's going on locally, in some places even better than what was discovered throughout the state. So, yeah.
Very good. Okay, moving on, we'll go to the concession agreement update.
Yes, our concessionaire, who's doing a fabulous job, the business name is Penny's Place, has been operating over in Mountain Valley Park for the last 2 years, successfully doing so. Lots of positive feedback from the different organizations and groups, interacting with them, definitely from a staff perspective, related to special events and other activities that we engage other concessionaires, but specifically here with Penny's Place. And he reflected to us that he does want to pick up the first of his 3 one-year options in his contract. However, he did implore to us the hopeful ability to be able to renegotiate an escalating term in regards to percentages based upon sales. And that escalating scale took him all the way up to 20%. Well, as we all know, we lost Sam's Club sometime back ago. Well, that was a mainstay of materials and supplies. Plus, we definitely all know as a commission, because it's been a reviewed item in regards to minimum wage rates have dramatically increased over the course of term and will continue to increase. So we took into light all of those different types of things, looked at what the current return is versus the adjustment that would be lost if the scale was adjusted. and we found that to be very minimal. And then I think we can all remember back when we were looking for a successful concessionaire, some of the trials and tribulations we were having of folks getting involved. Number one, having a complete bid, and then fulfillment within their bid and their agreements, and those troubles that we've had, which we've not had any of those issues with Penny's Place. So staff went to council asking for consideration of a renegotiated contract. We literally kept all the same terms, with the exception of the escalating return on sales, and capped it where it had been, and we left that cap on there for the remaining 3 terms. Council accepted that. Paul has also accepted that. Each party has completed that contract, and Paul will continue to work this next concessionary year, and then opt into his necessary options each year following, and fulfill his contract. So a great positive engagement from there, solid concessionaire, good operations, good engagement from all parts, and it has successfully met with council's approval.
Any questions, comments?
No, I think these changes make a lot of sense, and it works really great for the town, and it works really great for the successful concessionaire.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to lose that concession stand down there at Mountain Valley Park. I'm glad council had the vision also to see the same thing we think, because it's got to be stayed. It's got to be a mainstay.
Good deal.
Yeah, Paul deserves that support.
You bet. Okay, moving on. We'll go for Run of the Hill wrap-up.
Yes, sir. We wanted to give you all a quick little wrap-up to this past weekend on Saturday. I unfortunately couldn't be there because I was fighting off a wonderful head cold, but knowing that I've got the awesome team that I have, our fabulous folks who are out there handling the parking, taking all of our entries, as well as our some of our walk-ups that we had. We had folks there before we were even there, going out and enjoying the hill because it was just a gorgeous morning, fabulous sunrise out there, folks enjoying. We had a total of 69 runners participating this year. We had medals and T-shirts for all the participants. You'll see the logo there on screen. That was what we had available for each of our entries into the event. Some of them there showing off their prize medals for reaching the top. We had a number of walkers as well too. Of course, with our this event going up the hill and all those activities, no injuries, no incidents to report, so that's awesome. Lots of positive recognition to the race with compliments coming from all different facets of its operation. We had complete cost recovery on the event. One of the most awesome things, 2 little personal items to report. We had an 82-year-old lady participating in the walk this year, so kudos to her. As well as then we had some very creative, awesome folks that recognized at the very top, we've got our little informational sign in regards to the heliograph station and how that functioned back in the day between here and Fort Whipple, and then crossed over into a portion of Fane Park with the cavalry unit that was stationed over there in support of the mining that was taking place, and then the town of Massax that was there back in the day, all of that type of information. So they remembered that. So as she's participating in the race, hubby's at home, and when she gets to the top, she has her binoculars. She calls him up. He's in the driveway at home in Stone Ridge with his binoculars. Well, what I found the most humorous about all this entire story is, and kudos to them for taking that into consideration and looking and everything. Well, apparently he gave her the cheap little ones. She couldn't see him, but he said, I could see you perfectly from up there down in Stone Ridge. So I think that's pretty awesome that folks are taking into consideration and using that opportunity in regards to kind of reliving the past here a little bit, in regards to having that as a means to to engage history, but do it in a modern context and doing those types of things. So kind of fun little tidbits from the story, and it may not be meaningful to most, but for me, it did my heart good. I like seeing people that are young at heart and engaging in that type of way and looking at it from a different perspective, and I think that truly did. So super cool, super fun folks that we've got out there in our community. Awesome job in regards to our team, their hard effort taking place out there. And special little note, thank you to our town manager, Mr. Tarkowski, because he got out there on a piece of equipment and cleaned up the trail a little bit for us as well, too. So full team effort from all different vantage points and engaging there. So that is my little wrap up and update as it relates to Run for the Hill of It 2019.
Very good. Any questions, comments? I think, and I know that hill is something we're looking at for future, for possibly even more trails and more activities if we can get there.
And we are working to do that.
Yes, we are.
So, Brian, you said there were no injuries, no falls,
Nope.
no snakes, spiders, critters, or anything like that?
Nothing
No
reported,
stories,
no,
right?
sir.
I know there's a lot of folks that are coming into the state, a lot from California, a lot from the colder countries, states in the country, and they say, well, Arizona's got snakes and scorpions and spiders and Gila monsters and all that, and I think that might scare some of them away from going on a trail like this. So hopefully they're listening and know that it's very safe out there.
Most definitely, and that's something that it's a wise person would always keep their radar on anyway. As we all know, there's free-range cattle out there. We've got antelope, we've got mule deer. There's all kinds of things, but there's also fabulous things like songbirds and butterflies and all kinds of other cool engagement opportunities, jackrabbits, you name it. So the world's to be explored, but yet you need to be smart and savvy about it and keep your head on a swivel. So I think kudos to all the folks that definitely did those things.
And what a view when you get to the top.
Yes, it is a gorgeous view.
You can see everything. Okay, moving on. We'll go to new business with the annual report from 1819.
Yes, sir. Staff would like to present the annual report for fiscal year 1819. They would like to make the request to host a work study session. This would be on Monday, October the 14th at 4 p.m. in conference room 428. If that would meet with the Commission's approval, we'd like to review that in its totality, hopefully be able to then also consider presentation either by the Commission preferably or by staff at an upcoming council meeting. That might possibly be October 24th or the first official regular meeting in November. So we can make that a part of that discussion that particular evening and any other items that we might want to put on that work study schedule.
Very good. Are you looking for a motion?
If that would be possible, I would appreciate it.
Okay, so what we'd like to do is have a motion for a work study on Monday, October 14th at 4 o'clock, conference room 428.
I'll make a motion that we have a work study meeting on Monday the 14th at 4 p.m. at conference room 428.
I have a motion and a second.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Very good. So Monday the 14th, we will all meet and get our always exciting annual report.
And it is exciting.
Moving on, we'll go to number 10, Anybody else have anything else they would like to discuss this evening? Hearing nothing, we'll go on to unscheduled public appearances. Anybody from the public? It looks like we'll have none this evening. So our next meeting will be a work study Monday the 14th at 4 o'clock. And then your regular meeting will be Tuesday, November 12th, 6:30 right here in this auditorium. And if anybody has nothing else, I will ask for an adjournment.
I have something.
Very good.
I don't know, but I'd like to mention something about our commissioner Kevin.
Yes.
We don't want to.
What might that be?
Only good things.
Only good things. How much we appreciate your serving with us, and it's been a real pleasure to know you and have you be with us. And we are sorry that you will be leaving us. We wish you well in whatever your new adventure might be.
Well, I appreciate that. So we had, so this is, I think, my fifth year.
Yes.
And so it's been an honor and a privilege to serve on this commission. You guys are all wonderful. Brian and his staff have been great. We've seen a lot of progress and growth over the last few years with respect to what we can offer the town, with respect to the new parks and the upgrades of the parks and the new hill trail and everything like that. But we had a yard sale out at Pronghorn Ranch this last Saturday, and a lot of people were coming up and talking, and I said, I must have said this about 15 or 20 times. I said, before I tell you where I'm moving, I don't want you to cringe or anything like that. And then when I told them I'm moving to Michigan, they'd all go, ooh. And I said, I told you not to cringe, and you did anyway. But the reason my wife and I are moving is because we have 2 little granddaughters in Michigan, and my son, his family are there, and we haven't seen them very much in their young lives. And so Becca's 9, Allie will turn 11 on the 4th of November, and God willing, we'll be there for her birthday. And I don't know that we've been to very many of her birthdays, so it's kind of a bittersweet thing. We're going to miss the town here. I was actually in Michigan for the month of August house hunting, and I only planned to be there for 2 weeks, but I was living with my son and his family for 5 weeks. So I took advantage of one of the weeks to study for my my real estate exam there. But the one thing that I did notice when I came back to town is that what I will miss probably the most is the openness and the views, the 360 views of the mountains, because Michigan in that part of the state doesn't have a lot of hills that you can see, a lot of trees, a lot of green, probably too many of them, but you can't see the mountains through the trees. So it's kind of bittersweet moving there, but it's going to be fun to be there and watch the 2 little granddaughters grow and be part of their lives and their school events and sports and all that stuff. So I just want to thank you all for the opportunity here, and keep doing what you're doing.
And we want to thank you so much for your service, Kevin. And of course, who wouldn't want the opportunity to go hang out with grandkids? I think we can all look at that situation and say we don't blame you one bit.
Yeah,
and the day may come where you do come back to us. When the kids, when the kids get older and they're like, "Hey, Papa, you're not cool anymore. See you later."
Then I'll come back.
That the first winter.
You guys will still all be on the commission too.
Well, and then
We wish you well,
and we'll look for you.
We'll keep the light on for you, no matter what.
That's right.
Oh, thank you. It's been fun.
And thank you so much for the help and ideas you've had. So with that, if anybody has nothing else, I'll ask for an adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion and a second.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, Prescott Valley. See you in November.